In the waning light of the 4th century, after the winds of Christianity were firmly woven into the Roman Empire's fabric under the Nicene Creed, there lay a small, serene village just beyond the reach of the bustling Byzantine politics. The village, tucked between verdant hills and silver streams, was known among the few who knew of it as Aurelia's Grace. It was here, in this unassuming place, that an aged artisan named Silvanus dwelt in his quaint workshop lined with woods of every ilk and tools handed down by his forefathers. Silvanus, once a renowned craftsman in the emperor's court, had chosen isolation over influence, dedicating his twilight years to perfecting his craft as a homage to the divine. He was well known for creating exquisite religious icons and altarpieces, but his masterpiece was to be a gilded cross, intended for the small chapel at the village's heart. This cross was not just an object of veneration, but a beacon of hope for the beleaguered villagers who had endured trials both earthly and spiritual. One crisp morning, as dawn broke over the Emerald Hills, a young novice monk named Elias ventured towards Silvanus's workshop. The old man greeted him with a benevolent smile, the wrinkles on his face telling stories of years bending over his creations. Elias, who had been sent by the village priest, came with a purpose. The chapel's cross needed restoration to hold the central place during the upcoming High Holy Days. Elias, while young, had an old soul and cherished a deep passion for both the crafts and the creator. He observed keenly as Silvanus worked. The old man handled his tools with a reverence that transcended mere craftsmanship. Each motion was a silent prayer. Under Silvanus's guidance, Elias began to learn the delicate art of gilding, the method of applying wafer-thin sheets of gold leaf, which Silvanus handled as though they were as precious as the breath of life. Days turned to weeks, and the bond between the craftsman and the novice deepened, discussed not in words, but in the gentle tap of a hammer, the swish of a polishing cloth. The restored cross gradually began to assume a form that seemed to defy its humble origins. Shimmering with a celestial glow as the gold leaf caught the sun's rays filtering through the workshop's small windows. Then, misfortune struck as a storm swept through the village, a rare fury that both man and nature watched with held breaths. Silvanus's workshop was spared, but the chapel suffered damage that saddened the hearts of Aurelia's Grace's simple folk. The cross, mid-restoration, became their rallying symbol, their testament of resilience. Elias, adopting the mantle of community solace, proposed they continue the restoration as a communal effort, transforming the work into a tangible manifestation of their collective faith and endurance. Silvanus, moved by the unity, worked harder than ever. The cross, gleaming with newly laid gold, stood not merely as an object, but as a collective vow to rebuild, restore, and renew. As the High Holy Days approached, the chapel, barely repaired but dignified in its stark weathered splendor, hosted the restored cross. The villagers, gathering under its weathered roof, felt their spirits lifted by the sight of the golden cross, its surface a tapestry of their shared trials and triumphs. In that moment, as the choir's hymn rose in a solemn crescendo, Silvanus and Elias stood side by side, their faces aglow not just with the reflection of the cross, but with the knowledge that true divinity lay in the community and its capacity for rebirth. The cross was no longer a symbol of their faith, but of the enduring human spirit, crafted not from gold but from love, resilience, and the unyielding bonds of shared humanity. Thus, Aurelia's Grace, enshrined by its gilded cross, whispered into the winds of history a tale not of an empire's creed, but of a small village's heart and the timeless art that bound them together.